Caribbean Offshore Powerboat Championships. The Puerto Rican National Championships. The Inshore Powerboat Finals. And here are your hosts, Roger Piggott and Jay Harrison.
Hello everybody and welcome to Puerto Rico. We're here with the Puerto Rican Invitational, the National Inshore Finals, and I'll tell you what an exciting race we have in store for you today. The location, the lovely La Guancha region of Ponce, Puerto Rico waterfront festivities, and the host venue is the Ponce Fishing Club in the Puerto Caribe region. What an exciting day as all the inshore boats are dry docked right now, our eyes in the sky, getting ready for today's festivities. And Jason, this is the first inshore race in a 5-year absence.
It's a family event here today as capacity crowds pack the dry docks to view some of the boats before today's race starts.
Well, what we're doing now is this is the pre-boat inspection. This is the final preparation and safety checks before the race. Now, I have been informed that this 5-year absence of sanctioned inshore powerboat racing here in Puerto Rico is causing turmoil on many of the teams as they're scrambling to up the bar to ICEMAN safety protocols. Last minute graphics, there's a good look at WSM in Puerto Rico, and they supply a lot of the high performance parts to the boats that are going to be in today's agenda. We'll be loading them in the water momentarily. Here we go, a little bit of buffing her up and just trying to get as little friction on the boats as humanly possible. And a great look at Dylan Baird just doing some of the pre-boat safety that we're going to be covering. Unfortunately, many of the boats that showed up will not be allowed to participate in today's agenda for safety reasons. Contro D5, a top-performing boat in the offshore side of the race programming in line for the weekend. Here's a good look at some of the larger boats. We're starting off with the inshore, and there's me just lining up some of the onboard cameras mounted to boats today, and we're going to be bringing you some strong action. Let's have a look at our heat roster, see what's going on.
Looking at our finalists for the Inshore Circuit Division, we have WSM, the Grand Prix Catamaran, led by Anthony Acosta. JJ69, the Mirage Catamaran, skippered by Jose Rivera. Nicole, the Action Monohull, skippered by Luis Silva. We also have Technical Transmission, the Glastron Catamaran by Jesus Rivera. Poison 2, the Tailor-Made Monohull by Milton Perales. And Terso Coat Marine Services, the STV Catamaran.
As mentioned, water conditions are choppy. La Policia and the U.S. Coast Guard. Special thanks going out to all the ICEMAN technical crew that have done a thumbs-up job. A good look here at West Coast Marine and all the marker boys that will be identifying the shorter inshore course. The boats are now in the water. The ICEMAN pace boat ready to get things underway as all the boats are assembling in the milling area.
Let's have a look at the race course that these boats will be taking today. The red line indicates the containment area enforced by the U.S. Coast Guard for boat spectator safety, and the fuchsia line indicates the inshore circuit, which measures out at 3.7 nautical miles, and the participants today will have to do 5 laps.
Well, a great shot here on board of ICEMAN 1, our official race boat, our eyes in the sky. You can see all the finalists there milling behind the pace boat. The pace boat will ramp them up to speed, bring them into the course, at which time the green flag will drop, indicating the start of the race. The rules stipulate you cannot pass the official pace boat until the green flag is dropped. What we're going to do here is ramp the boats up to speed, bringing them into the course. Everyone will just jockey for position. The green flag will come down, indicating the start of the race. And there we go. Jason, the race is underway.
Well, a good clean start. We got Technical Transmission just hard on the gas. They've got just under 20 miles and 5 laps ahead of them, so no need to be too panicky on the gas right off the get-go.
Well, you can see JJ69 there just trying to dial it in, and some big airs. You can see how the water conditions on the far western part of this race course is going to trim out. Well, great look at Anthony Acosta and many of the other boats just starting to settle down. But let's go have a look with Dylan Baird, our head of safety protocol, see what's going on.
This is a standard life jacket. All the drivers will have a variation on the life jackets. They've got the back collar on the back of the neck here, supports the back of the head in the event of an unconscious accident. We'll keep the airway open and out of the water. As well, we've got the crotch straps here on the bottom, go around the underside of the leg with the handle in the back, which will assist the rescue divers in extricating the victim from the water. And as well, it'll all be bright colors, easily visible from the ocean surface. The Caribbean Offshore Powerboat Championship Series, safety is our #1 concern. Seatbelts again, another safety item all the drivers are going to have. Simple clasp that holds it in place, easy accessible for the rescue divers in the event of an emergency. And all drivers will have a variation of this design.
Thanks, Dylan. A bank of information, and hopefully this answers some of the questions we're getting online. Right now we're into lap number 2. You can see the shore in the background. This inshore course is much closer to the beach than the offshore circuit where the faster, more powerful boats are going. But the bottom line on the performance of these boats is at the stern of these race rockets. Let's throw it to our technical specialist, Andre, and get some more information on the race props.
Thanks, Ice. We're looking at a very shiny prop here. Now, while a lot of people might think it's just cosmetics, this is one of the cases where less is more. The shinier and smoother it is, it's less friction on the boat and the prop itself. What that results in is more speed. Less friction, that resistance to motion, gives you more top end. And that's why a lot of these boats, especially the high performance boats, have these lovely shiny props. Very pretty, but very effective. It's back to you, Ice.
Okay, with me now is Anthony Acosta, a well-known name here in Puerto Rico. Anthony, a lot of last-minute service work on your boat. What do you expect?
Well, we're trying to do good. We're just doing the last-minute preparation, so everything could be ready for the race.
Sounds good to me. Hopefully we're going to see Anthony in the winner's circle. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Caribbean Offshore Powerboat Championship Series. Roger Piggott here, along with Jay Harrison, your host for today's Puerto Rican Inshore National Championship Finals. And boy, do we ever have a race underway, Jason. Lap 3 just getting started.
Yeah, there's Poison 2 just making their way under the chopper there, making some good headway, catching up to JJ69 and WSM.
Well, they seem to be the front-running boats right now, but anything can happen. Here's a great shot from the eyes in the sky, and this is how it looks when you're all trimmed out. You will notice there's not a lot of bob and weave at the bow of the boat, which is going to slow them down substantially. Traditionally, in this type of water conditions, the V-hulls seem to have the advantage over the catamarans, but it doesn't look like that's happening today.
No, they're making a tight corner there on the western end of the course, with WSM now trailing Poison 2 and JJ69 in third place.
Okay, and you can really see that these engines are much lower into the water. They don't seem to have the traditional off-the-rack configuration. And to tell us more about transom jacks, let's throw it to our tech specialist, Andre.
All right, thanks, Ice. We're going to be looking at a transom jack. What this does, this actually lifts the entire engine up and down. This is adjustable. Some of these are hydraulically controlled. Others are set prior to the race, and it's a fixed thing. What does that do? Well, it does this. It changes the running height of the cavitation plate at the back of the boat. These are known as surface piercing props. They need less water for it to be effective. With the engines higher as well, you have less of the gear case down in the water. What that translates to is this. Less is more. Less resistance for the engine going through the water, resulting in more top speed. It's back to you, Ice.
Okay, thanks, Andre. Well, we're getting a lot of internet and email inquiries about the other stops on the Caribbean Offshore Championship Series. Let's have a look at the Leverick Bay Poker Run in the British Virgin Islands, and this is where you get a whole magnitude of boats. You get the race rockets right down to the high-profile fishing cruisers, and a lot of celebrities like Sir Richard Branson that owns an island out here, better known as Necker Island. Now, in the poker run format, what happens, it's one launch. All the boats take off together, and the race boats up against the multi-million-dollar cabin cruisers and family pleasure craft. They're all starting off together, and the name of the game here is they will actually come into 5 different islands, and at each island they will pick up a race card. A great look at Big Pimpin', the fastest boat we've seen all season, clocking in at 153 miles an hour. Trinidad's Great Race, brought to you by Cara Breweries. That's one of the largest offshore races we do. It's actually the longest offshore powerboat race on the planet Earth, measuring out at just under 100 nautical miles, scoping from the island of Trinidad to the island of Tobago. A great look at White Heat Toyota, and here's some of the top guns, Baiko 3 and Mr. Solo, an RC Cola sponsored boat. A little bit of onboard action here. You can really see the conditioning that the crew have to be in to sustain the significant pounding. They're all racing for the Covenant Cup, the Carib Great Race. Definitely put it on your calendar. Moving right along, let's have a look at the U.S. Virgin Islands. This race in St. Thomas, one of the 3 islands making up the USVI, the U.S. Port Patrol, Coast Guard, everyone behind us here. Here's a great shot of the Port Authority, and you just can't do an event like this without them. Restricted only to the inshore boats. You get a lot of those big cruise ships in the background carrying 5,000 spectators that are packing the beaches, Jason. And I'll tell you, a lot of chicks on board those big yachts. Our eyes in the sky taking us through the USVI, but let's bring her back into La Guancha, Puerto Rico, the Inshore National Championship Finals, and lap number 3 well underway.
Well, there's plenty of stops along the way on the tour, and hopefully our viewers will be able to attend some of these events sometime. But right now, we got WSM chasing down JJ69, and following them is Poison 2.
Well, you can see they're really picking up speed here as they start coming by the grandstand area. This is the Ponce Fishing Club location. You can see a mechanical problem. It looks like a nose cone has broken off of the boat, and that will knock that competitor out. It looks like Cito is going to have to do a water rescue and get that vessel right off the course.
Yeah, bad news for technical transmission there. Having a huge problem losing his nose cone, but right now we got JJ69 now following WSM for a change.
Well, here we go, and you can see how tight they're actually coming around the West Coast Marine marker buoy out there. That's Poison 2 in 3rd place, but right now our front runners, it looks like JJ69 and Anthony Acosta and WSM, both at a Mercury-powered outboard action, and they're holding their own. That's the Hilton Hotel in the background there. They'll be doing another left-hand turn and hammering it down the straightaway.
Milton Corrales there and Poison 2 getting some great speed, picking up 3rd place, and right behind them we got Luis Silva and Nicole.
Well, this is where it's all about. You can see that these guys can't do full throttle on the water conditions on the far western side of the race course, approximately a 3-foot swell, and these boats are dead in the water at anything over 18 inches, so they've really got to watch that they don't stop.